If you've ever been betrayed by someone you thought you could trust, this story is for you. My sister didn't just betray me, she took everything my parents left behind, every piece of security I had, and laughed in my face while doing it. But I didn't let it slide. I got the kind of revenge that left her broke, humiliated, and completely exposed. Sit back, because this is a long one. Hit like if you think family betrayal is the worst kind of betrayal. I grew up thinking my sister was my best friend. She was 3 years older and I looked up to her for everything. When I got my first bike, she taught me how to ride it. When I had trouble with schoolwork, she helped me. Sure, we fought sometimes. What siblings don't? But at the end of the day, I trusted her more than anyone. Our parents were hardworking, practical people. They ran a small hardware store in town, and from the time we were kids, we were involved in it. My sister worked the register, I handled deliveries. Every night we'd all sit down for dinner together, exhausted but happy. Money was never overflowing, but there was a sense of security. We had one family house, a plot of land our father said he'd build on someday, and some savings. Our parents were always clear this would all go to both of us one day, equally. I never thought I'd have to fight my own sister for it. Drop a comment if you have a sibling you'd trust with your life, or if you'd never trust them with $1. Losing our parents was the hardest thing I've ever been through. It was sudden, a car accident on a rainy night. I was in shock for weeks. My sister stepped up and handled everything. The funeral arrangements, the paperwork, talking to the lawyer. Everyone praised her for being so strong. At first, I was grateful. I didn't have the emotional energy to handle legal documents or sit in an office with a lawyer. She assured me she'd take care of it all. You just grieve. I'll handle the boring stuff. Months passed. Every time I asked about the estate, she had an excuse. The lawyers backed up. The paperwork still processing. I wanted to believe her. I did believe her, because she was my sister. But slowly, I started noticing changes. She started dressing differently, more expensively. There was a brand new car parked in front of her house. And one night, when I stopped by unannounced, she had friends over celebrating something. I heard her laugh and say, "It finally cleared, drinks on me." Something about the way she said it made my stomach turn. I decided to dig. At first, I told myself I was just curious, but deep down, I think I already knew what I was going to find. One afternoon while she was out, I went through the filing cabinet she kept at home. It didn't take long. There it was, every official document, every transaction record. She had forged my signature on the inheritance paperwork, transferring the house and land entirely into her name. She had liquidated our parents' savings account, leaving nothing for me. I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach. That night, I confronted her. I laid out the papers on her kitchen table and asked her to explain herself. She didn't even flinch. "You wouldn't know what to do with that money," she said. "I'm protecting it from you." Protecting it? She had already spent half of it. She was wearing the protection on her wrist, a gold watch she'd bought just last week. That was the last night I saw her as my sister. From then on, she was just someone who had stolen from me. Subscribe if you think I should have gone scorched earth at this point, because I definitely did.
I didn't rush. I knew that if I went in angry and careless, she'd find a way to wriggle out of it. So I played the long game. First, I quietly made copies of every document, the forged signatures, the transfer of ownership, the bank withdrawals. I even pulled her social media posts where she showed off her new car and vacations. Then I started gathering allies. I talked to the lawyer who had handled my parents' estate, and when he saw the documents, he was furious. He said what she had done was illegal. That gave me confidence, but I didn't want this to just be a legal battle. I wanted her to lose everything, Not just the money, but the respect she'd stolen from me, the reputation she paraded around like a crown. I started small, anonymous tips to the tax office, letting them know about undeclared assets, quiet conversations with relatives, letting them know the truth. Pretty soon, people stopped inviting her to family gatherings. Friends started asking questions she couldn't answer. She thought it was bad then. She had no idea what was coming next. Keep watching. The next part is where everything comes crashing down for her. My final move had to be public. I wanted everyone to see what she had done, not just me. So I waited until she threw a housewarming party for her fancy new home, the home she stole from both of us. I was invited, of course. She wanted to gloat. I showed up, smiled, played nice, but right as everyone was gathered in the living room, I connected my laptop to the TV. And then I pressed play. The slideshows started with pictures of us as kids, innocent, smiling, then slowly transitioned to the legal documents, the forged signatures, the transfer of ownership, the bank withdrawals. I even pulled her social media posts where she showed off her new car and vacations. Then came the kicker. Screenshots of her bragging online about finally cashing in. Her face turned white. She tried to shut it off, but it was too late. Everyone had seen it, and at that exact moment, I hit send on an email to the authorities containing everything they'd need to open a fraud investigation. The party ended in silence. Guests walked out without saying goodbye, and within a week, her accounts were frozen, her car was repossessed, and a legal notice was served to her front door. If you think that was the perfect way to expose her, hit like right now. She called me crying, begging me to make it stop. I told her I just wanted my share back, and she refused. So we went to court. The judge didn't buy a single one of her excuses. The forged signatures alone were enough to convict her. She was ordered to return everything she took, plus damages. Today, I live in that house. I rebuilt the business with what was left. And every time she drives past, she has to see me living the life she tried to steal. Some people tell me revenge is a waste of time, but when I wake up every morning in the house she thought she owned, I can't help but smile. Sometimes justice doesn't come on its own. Sometimes you have to build it yourself. Share this video with someone who needs to see that justice can actually be served. And don't forget to subscribe. More real stories like this are coming.